I am.
Yes.
All right, showing we are live.
Okay. Since we do not have a physical in-person forum, we're going to transition this to a workshop. So good morning, and I call this workshop at the City Council of Village of the Hill to order. Today, September 9, 2025. It is 9:04 a.m. Thank you everyone for being here. Let us begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise and join me in honoring our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor, if you just
Yeah.
clarify that no action will be taken today on any
Yes.
item, just
Yeah, so
so that
given
everyone
that,
knows what the workshop is.
so given that we don't have a physical quorum, we will not be taking any official actions or any actions on any of the agenda items that are listed today or any other matters. But we will still continue and do our normal informative presentations, reports, and anything else that needs to be addressed. Public comment at this time. We'll open the floor to public comments. Residents are encouraged to share their thoughts related to any matters on the agenda or any other concerns they wish to address. So if anybody in person has any public comment, see we have Brittany, Madison, Miguel.
Every day is a holiday in the hills.
Yes, I like that comment. There you go. Okay. Presentation. So today we have Miguel Gamino, Hills resident and CEO of Super City. It's an app for residents that helps navigate local government services and information. So you want to go ahead and just kick it off?
Yeah.
Do we have a way to share this? This is our first YouTube live stream, so
If
we're working
it's-
through this.
Yeah, I don't know if we can share the presentation I sent ahead. Can you put that on the screen?
Trying to think what's logically the best way. You
Yeah.
have to log. We don't have it on this computer.
No.
Oh, anyway.
I can send a
Yeah.
URL
Oh, do you have one?
to that computer.
I don't know the computer's address.
And if we can't get it, you can do your presentation. We share that
Yeah, it's,
community.
it'll be helpful.
I don't know yours off the top of your head, do you? Okay. It's in our packet, right?
Yes.
That's fine.
Here we go.
Oh, great.
Not showing up.
You just, yeah, just.
There you go.
Okay, and then, are we gonna scroll here or do we want to share screen?
I mean, if you could share it, I mean, it'd be helpful if we could, just so people could see it.
Yeah.
But if not,
All right, I think we're good.
Oh, here's your phone,
Look at the IT magician.
Sarah.
Oh,
I think that it's,
Is it not showing?
I just see black.
Is it not showing?
I mean, I can see the PDF.
You see it on the screen then?
It's just that.
That's what I think we're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Work with, if that's okay.
We can make it a little bit bigger if you want.
If you go to the bottom,
Right here.
what is this?
And then what's this one? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Somehow I need to scroll though.
It's not scrolling.
Well, I gotta be here to scroll. Okay, but
Oh, I
you
can scroll it.
you can see
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
right?
they can see that.
Oh, yeah.
Go back to the window.
You can take it with you if you want to.
I probably only need a couple slides. You have everything.
Yes.
background. So thank you for the time. Miguel Gomino, a resident of the Hills on Lost Meadow. I was formerly with Sarah on the Parks Commission, which was a blast. I moved here in 2020 during COVID and the winter storm of the century. So I got to know the community pretty quickly. I formerly was in government. I was the CIO for the city of El Paso, the city and county of San Francisco, and the CTO of New York City. And then I went to MasterCard and built their government business worldwide before, and while I was at MasterCard, moved here. I left MasterCard, and the reason I tell you that background is our business strategy is effectively built on a lot of that experience. So we combine the realities of what cities need from a technology standpoint with payments and monetization through payments so that we can offer this platform free to municipalities. So we use a bunch of AI tools to deliver this platform that helps cities interact with the public in a modern way. The story that I tell on this next slide, the problem statement, is that no matter how big or small, cities have old systems and they don't match the way people live their life in every other aspect of their life. So kind of the metaphor that I use is most people are standing in line at City Hall with a stack of paper, waiting to do something while they take care of everything else in their life on their phone while they're standing there, right? And so that gap is getting wider because as every other industry is progressing even more rapidly in the age of AI, government, generally speaking, isn't. So that was the reason, that was the why. That was why we built what we built. So we use AI tools to improve that experience. So there's a bunch of stuff in the deck. We've done a bunch of background. We talked to 120, the slide I just passed over, we talked to over 120 cities in the country, validating that this in fact is not just what we think is needed, but actually what governments and the public deem is needed. So what we built, and it's currently published in the App Store, we went live in El Paso, Texas first. We have recently signed an LOI with Taylor, which is known as
Maybe turn off the speaker.
Yeah. I just went with that. That would be muting us. I did that.
It's a cycle. Mm-hmm. Good.
We're good.
So we bring to bear basically a bunch of AI tools to make those interactions better and more modern and contemporary with every other aspect of people's lives. What we've done initially, based on that research, our own experience, is delivered 4 principal features in the first version. So I was mentioning we went live in El Paso in April. So it's available today. You can download it today in the App Store and Google Play. The app right now, if you downloaded it, is scope limited to El Paso. So everything you experience is limited to El Paso, but other cities get added to the same app. So this is not an app that you buy. We don't sell it to you. You don't pay for it, and you don't have your own version of it. So residents don't have to download the Hills app and then download the Lakeway app and then download the Austin app and the Dallas app and the San Antonio app. It's one app, all cities. So people can navigate from city to city within the one app platform. So that means if they've downloaded it, like I have in El Paso, and then I come here, it either asks me to, or I manually switch cities from El Paso to the Hills, and everything else is the same. So there's power in that, because a lot of cities are trying to do some of this stuff themselves. That they think the technology is the hard part. It's the user acquisition that's really hard. So every city, if they build their own app, they're doing their own marketing and outreach to get people to download it. That user experience is different. So as you move from city to city, it's not only a different app, but it's different functionality and different user experience. This is like anyone who's gone to a city and then pulled up to a parking meter, and it's like that QR code that you have to download that you've never had before, and then you have to enter your credit card number, and next thing you know, you've been there for 20 minutes trying to pay for a 5-minute parking spot. So that one app, all cities, is really important. So we deliver 4 key features or functionality currently. The first is chat. So this is like Chat GPT, if anybody's experienced that. But the city controls the knowledge base. So when I was the problem with GPT in the government context, when I was CTO of any of the cities, I could never go out publicly and say, ask GPT your municipal questions, because I have no control over what it says or where it gets its answers. So if I ask GPT, how do I pay my parking ticket? And it gives me the wrong answer and my car gets booted, I'm not going to go to OpenAI and complain. I'm going to come to City Hall and say, you told me that I could trust GPT. And so it's you're bearing responsibility and liability. So for that reason, cities are not doing that. They can't. The alternative is they build their own, and it's a chat bot like a phone tree. And everybody's experienced them, and it's like you have 4 options and then other, and immediately you're like, let me talk to an agent, because none of those things are what I actually need. That's really the power of the generative AI chat, is that it's not scripted like a phone tree. You can just ask it natural language questions. So we have kind of brought the best of both worlds together. So we give the user the Chat GPT experience. They ask it questions in natural language, 14 languages, by the way. They ask a question however they want to ask that question. The chat then interprets that question and provides an answer. But its brain, if you will, is limited to the information that you've provided it. So you can guarantee accuracy as long as the information you provided is accurate. So now if it tells me the wrong information about my parking ticket and I come to City Hall and complain, it is in fact City Hall's responsibility because information was posted inaccurate.
So if we if we downloaded the app now and asked it a question, the database on which it would answer is El Paso?
Yeah. So we preload the data for you, and then the city has direct access. So you would have direct access to the back end. So you can modify that at any time. And that information, it doesn't require any technical skill at all. It's like uploading a document to Dropbox. So you can upload PDFs, links to websites. So let's say you have a Parks and Rec event schedule on a PDF or a Word document. You upload it to the back end, and if someone asks chat, what's happening in the park this month, it will tell you, here are the 5 events happening this month. And when that event schedule changes, you go back into that one, you upload a new one, and the knowledge base is updated. So you can constantly curate and teach the chat what it knows in producing those answers.
May I ask further, is that on the back end of SuperCity or the website, our existing website?
So you would log into your portal on SuperCity. So you go to SuperCity AI, log in as the Hills, and you'll see all of the information that the chat is using for the Hills.
Okay.
And every city has its own kind of profile or portal. So when someone goes to El Paso and asks the chat questions, it's looking at the El Paso knowledge base. When they come to the Hills and they switch to the Hills, they look at the Hills knowledge base. So there's no cross-pollination. But you can reference it to your website URL, and it will ingest everything currently on your website.
It will.
Yeah, that was the next question in terms of like administrative burden for Angie. But yeah, if you can just link to the website instead of reduplicating the stuff,
Yeah,
this would effectively replace, because we had some requests in the past for like a user-friendly app where some people suggested. So effectively, we could just link this to the website and it would utilize it as our own app,
Right.
obviously they could use other city, like if Lakeway were to get on board, then they could swap over and ask Lakeway questions or Bee Cave.
Right.
But it literally could just pull everything from the website. So if we went and uploaded the Park and Rec schedule for the year or information about Hills Fest, and it's on the website and
You'll
already
find
links to the website, it would already be able to
That's
find it.
wonderful.
Okay.
So you have that flexibility.
Yeah.
Most cities link to their main website.
Yeah.
In the case of New York, it's 500 websites.
Mhm.
But you have, my point of the PDF thing is you have
The option.
the ad hoc
Yeah.
capability.
Yeah.
So a city council agenda, right? You could, maybe it's on the website, but you could just post that agenda. And so if someone asked what's on the agenda this week, it would tell you. Things like that. So
Yeah.
you have both.
Yeah.
You have the flexibility.
Perfect.
And you can link other sites, like you're in control. So you could link the country club site, you could link the POA site if you wanted to. You know, that's basically you're in control of that knowledge domain. Whether you choose to or not.
Right.
Yeah. So we would preload it for you. Now we can bring a city online. If I text my team, we could have the Hills online before I'm done with this presentation. So we can have it in literally in 15, 20 minutes. So a couple of quick things on the other features. So the next screen is actually the home screen. So this will get customized a bit. It's hard to see from where you are probably, but that in the top left corner there is the city's logo. So when they're in the Hills profile, you'll see the Hills logo. This is the news feed that I'll talk about in a second. And this is the rest of the home screen. This panel right here, that color changes based on the city branding. So that it's yellow because El Paso has yellow in their logo on their star. Taylor is going to be green because that's their primary color in their logo. So you could, and that's just to help the user with a visual cue that I've switched from El Paso to the Hills or to Taylor or whatever. So there's a little bit of city branding associated with it, but it's one platform structure. So the news feed, if you download the app, this is the home screen. If you tap news or if you tap on one of these news articles, this scrolls horizontally. What we're doing with the news feed is we are actively inventorying and scraping the city's official outlets. So that's their website with press releases, announcements. You know, they'll have a web page where they usually post news and information, their Twitter accounts, social media accounts, things like that. The issue we're solving here, which is not as big of an issue in a smaller community like the Hills, but in New York, I mentioned there's literally 500 websites, and I have no idea how many social media accounts. And I was responsible for it. I have no idea how many there are. And people can't find the one they need when they need it, right? If I'm curious about road closures, do I follow the streets department or the parks department or the downtown district or who? Because they all have authority to close streets, as an example. So we take the guesswork out. We inventory those assets. We scrape all the content of those news posts into one feed, and the user can just filter by topic. So I can tap community and it'll just show me all the community events regardless of which agency is doing it. If I tap government, it'll show me all the council meetings, commission meetings or whatever in that way. Again, less of an issue here, but it does give people one place to see all the news and nothing but the news, because we don't scrape CNN's mentioning of a city or anything like that. There's no user generated content. There's no commenting. So people can like and share the news and that's it. So there's no people sniping or cheering. There's no grandma's cookies posted like on Facebook, where your news is competing with just regular social media activity. Or Elon posting about a rocket, and anything you post on Twitter that day won't get seen, even if it's really important. So we're giving the government their microphone. The next screen there that's an actual El Paso parking ticket. I sacrificed myself for the sample, but I'm law abiding. That was for the company. No, jokes aside, so what we do for payments in app is you take a photo of the bill. We use AI tools to look at the image and identify what jurisdiction, what is it? So this is an El Paso parking ticket, not a Hills or a Austin parking ticket. If it was in Austin, it would identify, oh, this is not El Paso, this is Austin. So it identifies the jurisdiction, it verifies the authenticity. In San Francisco, someone with some Photoshop skills made a fake parking ticket and their own PayPal link, started putting them on dashboards and was getting paid. And the city had no idea. So people were paying them and didn't realize it. So that triggered us to use the AI tools to also authenticate the document. So we tell people this is in fact a legitimate ticket, or this looks like it, kind of like your bank. This is suspicious. Call the city and verify that this is legitimate, stuff like that. So and this is parking tickets, water bills, building permits, anything that needs to be paid to the municipality. Once we read it, verify it, we extract the data off of it necessary to process the payment and nothing more. So in the case of a parking ticket, it's citation number, dollar amount, due date. We don't need to know the violation code. We don't need to know the intersection. We don't need to know anything else. So we extract what's necessary to remit the payment. We show it to the user. They verify, they say yes. And then they can Apple Pay, Google Pay, ACH credit, debit, and cash. If they choose cash, we give them a barcode on the screen. They go to CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, Family Dollar, Dollar General, Speedway, 90,000 locations nationwide. The cashier scans the barcode, the person hands them 25 bucks, and their parking ticket or their water bill or whatever is paid. So effectively outsourcing city cashier to any corner store. The last one there is 311. So this is reporting potholes, graffiti, street light is out, park bench is broken, what have you. A lot of cities have their own 311. So what's on the screen here is El Paso had just finished building their own brand new web-based 311 web app, but they didn't have a mobile app and they didn't have any money or resources to do it. We have our own native functionality. So if you don't have 311, we can activate that so that in the app, it will be super city functionality to report potholes or whatever. Or this is an example, we can just integrate something you already have. So we put their brand new web app in the mobile app interface and people can scroll and report issues without leaving the app structure. So it doesn't like send them off to the website. It all functions within the app. So we've given them a mobile app experience for their web app, and we didn't charge them for any of this. We monetize on the payments, to be super clear. So when people do pay with us, we have $1 convenience fee, but we can also provide your merchant services at the same or lower rates than Stripe or anyone else in the market. So we can do the in-app payments here. We can also offer payments even on your website as part of the whole kit. So we can put your payment button on your webpage for you also. It would all be processed in the same infrastructure. The other thing we can do on the website, the chat experience I described, we have a web widget. So on your brand new website, I can give you 3 or 4 lines of code that your web developer copies and pastes. And on your website, you would have a Super City chat button that anyone could tap or click, and they could have that chat experience on the website. Same thing, so asking questions about whatever's happening, integrated on the website. So this is what we do. Current state, future state, we have a whole bunch of other things. So the chat is going to evolve into what we call agentic, meaning it just means it's going to actually do things. So right now it tells you how to do things. How do I pay this parking ticket? How do I reserve the park? It'll give you step by step. The next version, it will say, do you want me to do it for you? So right in the conversation, I could say, yes, please do reserve the park for me on Saturday, September, whatever. And it will ask me, okay, I need to know your name, whatever the information is that's necessary. In a conversation, I'll answer those questions, and then it'll say how you want to pay, just like the payment experience, Apple Pay, Google Pay, whatever. And then it will create that application and submit that to you. But when you get it, you know that it's complete because it won't send you something incomplete. And if there's any supporting documentation required, like a water bill or something to validate something, you will also know that that's been gone. It's been validated the same way I described the parking ticket. So you'll know that the water bill has not been photoshopped or doctored. So for big cities where they have like a bunch of programs, when the administrator in the government gets the application, it's already gone through the documents are verified, the application's complete, the identity's verified, all those sorts of things. So that's what we have. True story, we launched in El Paso first, that's where I'm from. And so Taylor technically has signed, but it's not too late. My other home, the Hills, can be second if we move quick. But yeah, there's no procurement. I'm not asking for any money. We would just launch this, and the only ask, we have an LOI that I also attached and put in the probably in your packet. That letter of intent is effectively a marketing agreement. So it states very clearly that it's no cost to you. But what we do want from you is to tell the public that this is available together. Right? Effectively, what we're charging the governments is to lend their credibility and authority so that people know that it's legit. That's effectively the ask. So we would go, and we support the marketing. So we would create all the marketing materials, do all the digital stuff, do all of it, but we would post it, promote it together. So in a community small like this, on the Facebook page, it's in the clubhouse, I don't know, it's however you get news and information out, mailers, but that would be the ask, is that we publicize this to the community together. I have a bunch of other slides. Probably the only one the one of interest are our advisors maybe. So we have, my co-founder was the CAO of New York City when I was the CTO, where we met. So all the operating departments reported to him. And before that, he was deputy budget director in New York State and did some stuff in DC. So he also has under the dome experience, we call it. But we didn't rely on our own experiences. Again, we talked to over 120 cities, and then we've assembled a pretty stellar advisory group. Carlos Menendez was my boss at MasterCard. He's no longer there now. He's with another publicly traded payments company. But since payments, we are a fintech effectively, his involvement is really important. Guillermo Diaz was the CIO globally for Cisco Systems, which you may have heard of. Joyce Wilson was the city manager in El Paso. Carmen was the CFO in El Paso. She's now the CFO at Fort Worth ISD. You might recognize those two guys at the bottom, Nuremberg and Adler, mayors of San Antonio and Austin. And then David Graham was the deputy COO, basically a deputy city manager effectively in San Diego. And George Murciaga he has a group called the U.S. Roundtable, Mayoral Roundtable. So he helps advocate to mayors across the country. So we rely on them.
Consider them like an advisory board then?
Not like ours.
They are,
Yeah,
okay.
they are all signed. They all have
Yeah.
equity
Got
advisory shares. We have advisory board meetings. They all happen to be my friends, but this is not just a friend slide. This is a formal situation. What I will share real quick on the fintech side to give you also just a quick sneak peek into the future. So right now we're doing in-app payments and web-based payments. So we help the government collect money. What we're doing next is disbursements, helping the government distribute money. So rental assistance, food assistance, small business grants, whatever it is where the government is sending money to people. We'll attach a card program to that when we do that. So there'll be an in-app wallet and a plastic Visa or MasterCard so people can use that money at HEB. And then we're building a vertical neobank. So at the end of the day, we are going to be offering the first public service focused AI powered neobank in the world, I guess. Hasn't been done yet. So we will help governments get the money in, manage the money while it's in, and distribute the money as they need to. Tax refunds, whatever it might be, or money money's going the other direction. That's not in this slide. This deck is the deck for cities. What I just shared with you is the longer strategy, but we're all friends here, so. And whoever's on YouTube.
I guess one item I'd like clarity on is cost or implementation, that kind of stuff.
Zero cost.
Okay, how do you,
Revenue.
curious how?
I make money on the payments.
Okay,
So in the case like the hills, truthfully, I'll probably never make money here because you don't have much of any payment. Like we can do your park reservations. By the way, I went to the brand new website, to the park reservations, and you can do it and fill out a form, but you can't pay for it.
Right.
So I can solve
it's a
that.
weakness, yeah.
So I can give you a payments button there tomorrow. We'll make pennies every time someone reserves a park. The hills isn't a revenue thing. Frankly, even El Paso, as much money as we spent launching in El Paso, because it was our first, I'll probably never turn black ink on El Paso. But we're at the early stage where we're signing cities up and establishing that traction. I'm talking to VCs. The VCs want to see traction. So you're helping me with that, plain spoken. But our business model generally is I hope to never have to charge a city directly. We've had some actually specifically ask for it. They're like, we want to pay you something for it. It just draws out the process. And it's not my model. I want to make 20 cents 2 billion times. I don't want to make $20,000 10 times. So that's, full kimono.
Appreciate it. It's a great product.
And then as far as like the launch overhead, we'll put the website in the back end. We'll link to your social media feeds or your website for the news feed. You can manually publish news in our back end if you want to. So you can use it as a publishing tool if you want to, but you don't have to. You can keep posting stuff on wherever you're posting it and we'll scrape it in. So there's like, probably in the case of the hills, there's probably a couple hours of work, maybe.
You can link to any source to be our database. So for instance, our city code, we have published online through a service that does that's a meeting code. So you'd be able to incorporate our entire published city code.
So I could just, if I have that URL,
Yep.
I put that URL in the back end, it will ingest it, it'll learn the code, and then you could start asking chat questions about it. So in the future, they're not sure about what do I have to do this or that, they could ask that question. Is this a city function or a POA function is probably the number one question around here, at least it is for me. So those sorts of things could be answered here.
So separately, rather than in a public meeting, I'm going to ask you about your data security protocols.
I'll answer here. So we are built on AWS. We don't house much of PII at all.
I remember as my first mark.
Yeah, we don't. So I should have said, when you download the app, it will give you the option to continue as guest. So I don't force you. I don't have a credential wall like Facebook where I'm forcing you to create an account in order to see anything. When you download the app, you can continue as guest and you can do everything I described anonymously. Our system itself is built all of the industry standard stuff. We've got a whole paragraph that I can send to you. It sits on AWS.
Okay.
Our payments processing through our payment processing partner is PCI, SOC 2, all of that stuff.
I think the concern the mayor and I would have would be bogus data being uploaded into kind of our database so that the chat function has incorrect information in it. That's the data security concern that first comes to mind.
Yeah, so the authentication,
Yeah.
you would have username access to that backend, and all of that it's OAuth authentication, just like any other commercial industrial strength system. So that's at a high level. We can. What I will tell you is New York City has a whole process. So that, we're going through that. So if that gives you any,
Yeah, could you share the name of your primary contact at El Paso?
the city manager signed it. We have like 5 primary contacts. The mayor, Renard Johnson,
I don't know him, but
is very dialed in. Dion Mack is the city manager. Robert Cortinas is the CFO because of all the payment stuff. Carolyn Patrick is the CIO,
okay.
who's been heavily involved. And a handful of city council people are aware, but it wasn't like a city council, it wasn't a legislative action. Because
There's no money.
there's no money.
That's all I got.
I mean, that took care of my question. My main question was the PII, and then everything else was kind of already addressed. So like the 311 thing though, so if we have forms and reports on our website, you'd be able, with your 311, call it 311 functionality, would that essentially like link and pull from our actual, like you mentioned, probably not, it doesn't guide you to our form, it would be in app, and then would that basically just like pre-populate the form?
I
Or
can
how
do
would you
it either way.
Okay.
I need to look at that form,
Yeah,
but potentially I could plug that form into that fit screen.
okay.
So it could be when
We
they
can do whatever. We could have like the 311 function be
right
a
there.
separate, like you could
Just
just,
like El
do it
Paso.
to your thing and we would just work
Yeah.
through that functionality.
Yeah.
Or we could work through our current functionality,
Yeah.
which is a form.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if it's already built, again, I make money on the payments.
Yeah.
All the rest of it is we are giving this functionality to cities so that I'm not just here like Stripe trying to sell you payments. I'm actually delivering broader value because I personally believe that this stuff needs to happen. And I've found a way to pay for it and to have the cities not have to spend the next 3 years figuring out how to pay for it and build it. Because 3 years from now, it'll all be different.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Obviously, we're never gonna build our own.
Yeah.
so
I thought it was, I was like, this could just be our app.
I say that just to say like, it doesn't matter to me,
Yeah.
like, it's not like, oh, use my 311 stuff because I monetize it. Like if your form
Yeah, whatever you
works,
want to do.
Mhm.
we plug it in there. In fact, it's better for me because it's already built and it adds content. And it also, like in the case of El Paso, it's clear that it's co-branded, right? So it feels even more integrated if we're using your form. So whatever, we'll just have to look at the form to see, make sure it works.
Yeah,
But if it works properly, then we just plug it in there.
I think if there were steps moving forward, I think it'd be critical to sit down and go through the website with you or someone on your team to just make sure that it is a
Yep.
fluid process.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the
Things that are
site.
broken.
It's it looks like it's been refreshed recently. It's Civic Plus, which I'm very familiar with. So it should be like if I had to bet right now, I'm sure it's
So.
fine. But yeah, we'll look at it. And if it's not, we'll fix it.
That's all I got.
It's a very interesting presentation. Thank you.
Yeah,
Great credit.
thanks. So I guess the ask would be consider the LOI. If you're comfortable signing that, it's a handshake on paper, but it gives us something to show our investors, frankly, that I'm actually here talking to you. And then we would figure out, go through the website like Sarah mentioned, identify what we want to upload to the back end. We'd create your instance and then figure out what the launch plan is. And then I would like, if it's possible, I would like to do the payments on the park page or whatever use cases you may have for payments. We'd like to be able to do that. That's also a super simple process. There's a one-page merchant application, just like any other merchant service. And then we can either just give you a button or build it like a more custom registration and payment page if you want. When I saw the parks registration, all the registration's already there, so you probably don't need that. You just need the payment piece. But the same would apply. People could pay credit, debit, ACH, or cash.
How would we, as the city, receive that payment?
So at the end of the day, all the payments get batched and it gets ACH to your bank account. So at the end of if there were 3 people that paid for park reservations and it was $40, at the end of that day, you'll see an ACH deposit in your bank account for $40. And then you have access, we give you access to a back-end transaction list. So you could also, so if I called you and said, I paid, you could go back and see that they'll pay for the park. Cool.
And other than going over to Lost Meadow and knocking on your door, we know how to get hold of you, don't we?
Yeah, everyone knows how to get, I earned that cup because everybody knows how to get hold of
Okay.
One of us still probably unengaged from
me.
the winter storm.
But yeah, no, jokes aside, yes. And
Okay.
we've got a whole support team, so it's not just me, but yeah, my phone number is on the internet and everyone can have it. And
Okay. So I was thinking, we may want to reach out to somebody in El Paso just to kind of get their perspective on what their experience was, kind of on board through this and how does it work?
yeah, so I can send a gentleman named Ivan is in the IT department. He was the one he was on our weekly product call meetings when we were still building it.
Oh, cool.
So he was involved from day 0.
Great.
All the way through. Yeah. So I can give you whoever's information. Great.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We can hang out or dip out,
Hold on.
What do you think?
whatever you want to do.
No, you're fine. There's that purple button hidden behind the cameras. Stop.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Absolutely. Oh, okay. Yeah, I will. I'll send you a thank you.
All right. So next we have consent agenda items. So I'll read through, but we're not gonna take any action on consent agenda items. But we can, if anybody had comments on the minutes, right? Josh made suggestions to Angie with regard to changes of the minutes. No? Okay. We'll go ahead and just skip the consent agenda. Okay, item 6, we can do law enforcement report, I believe. So if you gentlemen want to kick off our report section.
All right, cool. So for the month of August, the stats for that is going to be, so calls for service, we had 7 911 hangups, 2 follow-up investigations, 1 reckless driving, 1 animal bite, 14 assist complainants, 2 suspicious vehicles, 7 directed patrols, 2 suspicious person, 2 assist motorists, 1 runaway child, 3 assist EMS, 1 selective traffic enforcement, and then 1 fraud call. So a total of 116 incidents. Traffic stops, we had 36, 15 citations, 21 warnings, and then I think, and yes, and that's it for the month of August.
Do you have a recollection of where most of the citations and warnings are coming from?
Yeah, so majority of them are going to be speeding. Second's going to be running the stop sign at the 3-way. We're coming up by the pond or by the lake, coming up there. That's where we're having a lot of people running stop signs. And then actually just recently, I know it's going to be on this next month's report, but on the weekends, Amazon drivers, they're starting to go on the wrong way. So whenever they're coming through this gate here on the Hills Drive, they'll cut through, like make a left, and then they'll actually go the wrong way going the wrong direction. So we've had a few of those this month already as well. But yeah, it's going to be primarily speeding. We've been catching people down by the park as well as they're coming down the hill. So speeding and running stop signs.
All right, moving on to Parks and Rec liaison. Angie, do you have any updates from your, I know we had one meeting yesterday. Marty has got an excused absence today.
Yes, they discussed the upcoming events that are happening. They have the movie night, September 21st, and they have Hills Fest, October 5th from 2 to 6. They're getting together all the information, all the volunteers, where they're going to be at, assigned. They also discussed selling hats at the event. And
Did they discuss designs on these hats? Or is
it's
somebody gonna at least spearhead that?
Brian. Brian is spearheading that. I haven't seen the design or anything like that, but they haven't presented it yesterday, so I'm not aware of the design. I know it's going to have Hills Fest. That's all I know.
They discuss what the sale would go towards?
It would go towards the Parks and Rec. All their, trying to get volunteers donations for the hats first. And then all the sales would go to the Parks and Rec budget.
Okay.
So y'all at some point would have to have like agenda action to accept those donations
Yes,
and have to collect sales tax.
yes. That's on
Do you have to
September
collect
18th.
sales tax?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't have to pay it, but if a city sells merchandise, you're subject to.
Sounds like we need a payment processing.
I got you.
I mean,
I don't know many people who
Carry a checkbook or cash.
it's like you need to get to know some city attorneys that have lots of clients.
All right, that is helpful. Looking forward to those events. All right, POA.
Do you want to do it?
Go ahead, Angie.
Okay, I was present at the POA meeting along with Lee Crawford and Marty Kite, both city council members. Basically, they discussed, what I remember is the keypads that they're going for invoices and checking with QuickPass to see if they want to go with them. They've had issues with QuickPass. Some aren't not getting their passwords. They can't log in. All of that's happening. They're trying to resolve that issue mainly it's with club members. For club members that are also residents that have two sign-ons. So that's what I overheard. And their finances are good. They're really good. They have no issues. I know their budgeting process is starting soon for the end of the year. Their year-end, not fiscal, so that's all I have. Unless you have more.
Nothing further.
Mud liaison.
That's me. Yeah, so both Angie and I attended the August 18 meeting of the First Creek Mud Board. 3 items I'd call your attention from that meeting. First, the board approved transitioning back to a lower tier of water rates in light of the lake levels that they're experiencing now. And so the Mud Board is going to move back to what they call the no drought rate, which are the base rates for water usage in our neighborhood, effective with the October billing cycle. And you may know the way our water bills work is we've got a base rate of $30 a month, and then we've got a base wastewater rate of I think it's $20 a month. And then on top of that, based on how much water you use, you get charged a certain amount for the water. If you use more water, you get charged a kind of a higher water usage fee. So what's moving back to the no drought rate are the actual water usage fees. The base rates were made the same. So that's kind of good news for the neighbors. Let's see, the second thing, the Mud Board considered its budget for the coming fiscal year starting October 1st. They're going to have a meeting next Monday, the 15th of this month, where they'll approve and set their ad valorem tax rate for the coming fiscal year. And then it looks like sort of like POA, the Mud Board's finances are in excellent shape at this point. And so it looks like to me that they'll probably either stay very close to the rate that they've been at for the current fiscal year, or perhaps even reduce that a little bit. That's their call, of course. And then the third thing, the general manager reported that in July, we'd experienced 5.99 inches of rain, which is very, very good for us. And lake levels were up around, I think, 82%, something like that in Lake Travis. So good rainfall, and the expectation is we'll continue to have kind of the current weather pattern that we're seeing now without prolonged periods through the next few months of completely dry weather. We'll continue to have sort of periodic rainfall. And that's the report from the Mud Board meeting. Anything I missed, Angie?
No, I think they're approving the budget and the
Yep.
tax rate, yes.
Excellent, thank you.
Mhm.
We have Yak up next.
We have nothing.
We'll discuss, or we can discuss an agenda item once we get there regarding our Youth Advisory Commission. Welcome Committee. Angie, is that something you want to do since Marty is?
Sure. Sarah Carroll, Mayor Pro Tem, and Councilmember Marty Kite, the liaison for the Welcome Committee, and myself were in attendance. They are discussing a donation letter that will be set up for September 18th to be approved by City Council. They are doing their welcome phone calls, emails to the new residents. Cassie Reynolds is the chairman, and she is actually doing amazing. She reaches out when there's questions in reference to the POA, the MUD, and we answer for the new residents. Other than that, we set the new times to happen on the 4th week, Thursday on the 4th week every month at 5 o'clock. Other than that, that's all I have.
Yeah, you can allow your comment or question.
So one thing I forgot to mention, that's, you mentioned welcome committee.
Mhm.
So in our chat, we can script, so it will interpret the questions and give answers accordingly, but we can also hard script a response to a code word. So if realtors or anyone tells the new resident, download Super City and sends welcome to the hills as like a prompt word, a prompt, it will give a scripted response. And in that you can put like your standard FAQs, the stuff that you're probably and tell them that the welcome committee meeting is happening X date or whatever. So you have that like hard code scripting.
That's helpful.
The welcome committee
Yeah.
thing made me think about
Yeah, that's helpful context. All right, City Administrator, you're up again.
Okay, basically on our August 25th meeting, we had an incident that happened that was very disrespectful to all in attendance. We've had that happen to the Parks and Rec twice prior to the city council meeting. We didn't have those recorded, but we did have the city councils recorded. I reached out to the FBI, their cyber threats, gave them a report, and also the constables we received a report, which they gave us a case number, which is C2-251-67. So we're trying to find out where the source is coming from and to eliminate, to not have that happen again. We had children in that last meeting, which is not not really for anybody, even children, to see what we saw.
I was going to say that at y'all's request, I did reach out firm-wide to see what other resources, and some colleagues suggested that the Texas Department of Information Resources was very helpful in helping cities and local governments. Also, the Texas Rangers I mentioned could be, sometimes they're a little bit more responsive than the FBI. May consider just, welcoming them into your house. I don't know what kind of, I don't know what kind of access you have to give them, but, but those were the two. And then I do have a couple of IT firms to recommend, and mostly in the Metroplex, but I don't know how you wanted to start.
Yeah, that's helpful. All right, thank you.
I'll forward those to Angie too.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right, so mayor's report, I think the main thing is we have our upcoming budget workshop and our upcoming meeting to adopt our tax rate and annual budget. So that's going to be September 18th at 5 p.m. So we'll also follow up with the community there. And then moving on to business items. Again, we're not going to be able to take any action, but I think some of these we can discuss. Is Rick still on the phone?
No, he said he would
Okay.
call in.
Okay. So we can skip the finance and treasury report for August. Lee, did you have any thing you wanted to mention regarding our zoning ordinance and process?
Only that I think we're going to include an item on our special call agenda for September 18 to have a general discussion, no action, but a general discussion of a proposed comprehensive zoning ordinance. So anyone in attendance at that meeting, I welcome everybody to show up for that, be able to have a discussion around that item, with the goal potentially of conducting a required public hearing on the comprehensive zoning ordinance and taking council action on the ordinance at our October regular meeting.
Great.
Are y'all possibly going to consider that joint hearing ordinance at the next meeting too?
Yes,
September 18th.
at the September 18 meeting, I'm going to propose an ordinance at that meeting that will allow us to conduct that joint hearing as I think Josh has framed it out for us. And the hearing itself would be at the October regular council meeting.
There we go.
It's like preparing to prepare for a meeting.
I will say there's a difference of opinions as to whether or not we need to hold the joint hearing, but our conservative advice is to still go ahead and have it, because why not, right? I mean,
And we're happy to follow that advice. To me, that gives more notice to the public and more opportunity, therefore, to have public input on this important decision for the city.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Okay, just an update for the community. City Council member Matt Marietta has resigned. His resignation is effective, so we appreciate him his contributions and his volunteer work for the city.
Is it correct, Mayor, that at this point, there's no necessary council action on that
Correct.
item? Okay.
Yeah, correct. It is effective given the time that has lapsed from his notification. Some of these other items we can discuss, we can execute at the September 18th meeting as well. I think one thing I would like to bring to the community's attention is there is a seat open for the remainder of former council member Matt Marietta's term, which will end not this coming November, but the next November. And what we would like to do is open it up to the community for applications. If people would like to submit an application, just giving us a little information about themselves, about how they would like to contribute to the community, and kind of if there's anything specific that they find that would be, something they'd like to highlight in terms of their background or experience for our consideration. If they can apply to helpdesk at thehillstx.gov and just send a note to us, we will receive it. I would like to have everybody submit by Monday, the 15th, so we can potentially consider an appointment at the September 18th, 5 PM meeting. Again, I'm always happy to answer any questions if people want to follow up offline at kevinproud@thehillstx.gov. Angie's also available, or at the help desk at thehillstx.gov if people have any additional questions about that process or what we're looking for, if they just have any questions about the role itself.
Is there anything in particular that you'd like residents to submit along with their expression of interest in the position?
I mean, if they want to submit a resume or a brief bio, I think the intention is that if people can just tell us about themselves, how they would like to contribute, why they feel like they'd be a good fit. And I would like to do is, hopefully there's enough time between people submitting and when we do make an appointment where we can get to know each of the candidates either on the phone or meet with them in person that we had, such as that we have done for the previous appointments. So if anybody would like to do that, again, happy to answer any questions, but I'd like to get a good feel for everyone. And this is a council decision. So what'll happen is people can submit, as many of us as we can, we'll try to meet people and then vote on it as a council.
Your thought is you put that on the agenda for the 18th?
If we can.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I think it's flexible, but based on our experience and discussions, we should try to just fill it and have a functioning, have as many members of the council working as we can, given our workload and time of the year.
And I'd like to also throw my
Yes.
name and contact information if anyone who's interested in the role would like to speak. In exchange, I would like to get to know the candidate as well. So please reach out to me.
Yeah, me too. So I'm available and very happy to talk with anybody who's interested in being a candidate for this appointment.
And this appointment ends November of 2026.
Correct.
And the new election starts.
Yeah, so anybody can reach out to anyone on the council, but me
Yeah.
and Sarah would definitely like, if you guys are interested, to chat with you.
The new election is time is November,
Okay.
whoever wins.
Then we have our upcoming Hills Fest. Is there anything? Marty's not here yet. I'll wait for Angie to finish over there.
That's short term from September.
Are you thinking we'll maybe just bump some of these items to the
I
18th?
think we have to.
Yeah. So I will carry over and
The 18th.
documents and the items.
That's it. Okay.
I'll go find you.
I'm good. Thursdays are good.
Angie, is there anything we want to chat about for the Hills Fest event details? We can also just, as Lee mentioned, we can also discuss and take action on these items September 18th.
Uh-huh.
If there's anything we want to kind of preview for the community or for the council.
Autumn is working with the Parks and Rec, and I know that she's worked several times with Sarah. This is going to be an amazing event. Last year was over 1,000 people at the event, so we're calculating that amount as well. They're considering wristbands for residents and wristbands for not residents, 2 different wristbands, so we could calculate who from the Hills is coming and who outsiders are coming.
And that would be like a tracking
Yeah.
mechanism,
Yes,
just for our internal metrics.
yes. Other than that, we'll have more information on the 18th.
Great.
For clarity, Autumn is an events
Oh, yes.
planner. So
Yeah.
she's coming to the Parks and Rec Commission to execute. She's not an official city council.
But she's done, I mean, she did last year's event too.
Yes.
And I know she helped secure much better deals, a much more,
Yes.
She has a lot of
enjoyable
nice
experience, yeah.
connections that basically are less expensive going through her than through the city.
Yeah.
It's a very positive.
yeah, she's been incredibly helpful. Okay, probably mention the Youth Advisory Commission update, if you'd like to mention.
Yeah, I'd go ahead and kick that off. The support of the Youth Advisory Commission by the high school age group has waned. And we were not able to gather applications enough to make the minimum quota for the commission, which is 8 members. So I will, in the next meeting, again, propose that we, suspend it for the next year. I think it's also an opportunity for us to work on redeveloping it as well in the background, as well as looking at the charter and seeing maybe 8, that the qualifying factor of having 8 members might be a little bit too high, because I would not like to be turning these interested teens away, but I also want to make sure that it's a valuable experience for them.
Just to clarify, does the current charter say 8 members or up to 8?
8 to 11.
8 to 11, so minimum 8. Wow, okay.
Okay. Angie, do you have information regarding the movie night event at the park on September 21st?
Yes, movie night is scheduled for September 21st. It's going to be E.T. Movie. They're going to have some sort of refreshments. They haven't pinpointed it down, or I don't remember what they're stating. They were thinking about ice cream or snow cones. So I don't know which one they picked.
Cool.
But it's going to be very enjoyable. The first movie night out for the Hills at the park. They're all excited about it. So
That's a Sunday evening?
yes,
Sunday. What's showtime?
once dusk hits,
Dusk.
because it's going to be on a screen. So it,
I think the request on the agenda is to extend our hours.
Right.
yes,
We can do that on the 18th.
yes.
Do you mind if I make a statement on item I on our agenda? With
Yes.
a request, it's relating to the PO, something regarding the POA, and I'd like to request that somebody be present at our next meeting to either have conversation about it or presentation, better understanding of that agenda item.
Correct.
So,
I reached out to the POA. They still don't have the invoices. They reached out to several vendors. They're now trying to get a quote from QuickPass because they say it's basically a button to hit the security guards to lift the arm
remotely.
remotely. And one was keypads to have the EMS just put in their keypad to get in. So I don't know what they discussed. It's still an ongoing thing. It's been ongoing for months.
Well, it is,
So-
the topic we're discussing is a POA responsibility.
Exactly.
And having it end up on our agenda, I want to make sure that we are able to have a two-way conversation with the representative that is informed of this situation, of this item.
Fully agree.
Thank you.
Just to clarify, has the POA made a request that we've contributed to the funding for this, or?
The POA has made an unofficial request that we contribute to the
Okay.
funding.
We want it 50/50, or have they said it?
We have not finalized that yet.
Okay.
So back to Sarah's point, I think the
Yeah.
intention, and I've had discussions with Greg Warden about it, and he's the one that initially brought this up, and I think that we're given our capital usage and just the general community benefit from just working with them on making sure that these types of issues are taken care of. I think that we should have a discussion, a two-way discussion with them and kind of figure out the best way to make sure this stuff is taken care of. But again, it's a POA function, it's a POA decision, so that's why they've been kind of running this themselves, and then whenever we want to have a two-way discussion with them, they can bring it to us and we can have a full discussion. But I know that they've been working actively to take care of just general access.
Just as a resident, we didn't read the agenda item, so I don't know.
The POA needs to, right now, the way that emergency access works is the dispatch has a routing system that routes them to specific man gates or gates that the emergency services have access to. what has happened in the past is sometimes, and again, this has happened anywhere in the chain, is that a driver may or may not look at the direct dispatch instructions
Make up the wrong.
and they may go to the wrong gate.
It's just-
And then what'll happen at that point is that they will, right now, the way it's working is they will scan a QR code and the guards will make sure they get in. But it just would be nice to have something that's a little more automated.
Yeah.
So that's what we're
But it's
discussing.
just EMS related.
Yes, yeah. Yep. So I think there's quite a few actions we're gonna take on September 18th. So if people want to dial back in 5 PM, September 18th to that, is there anything else that Sarah or Lee would like to address during this workshop?
Not for me.
Okay, well, I think we can go ahead and adjourn our workshop. It is 10:14 a.m. Meeting adjourned. I think we can just adjourn it. Yeah.
Just that bottom part.
I think the way that works. Here's the meeting, you can, council wants to take a different action.